Here's why there's a wall up between you and your wife. And I talk to men every day about this, and it sucks. This woman you've been with for years, decades even, is suddenly just cold, putting distance between you, won't let you touch her, talking about leaving, divorce, whatever. And it's painful. It sucks. And just feel like you're at a loss. Like you don't know what to do. Like you feel inside you do anything to tear this down. But if you could just understand how. And that's what this video is going to be about. It's going to really help you understand what led to this and the steps you need to take to really bring it down. Because I find most men don't really get this. And the first thing you need to understand is what this wall is made up of. And it's really three things. The first being a lack of hope that her needs ever get met in this relationship. When she first said yes to you in this relationship, she did so because you were the best choice to her. Out all the other men out there, she saw you as the best option for her getting her needs in life met, whether that be family, finances, protection, safety, love, connection, adventure, fun, excitement, whatever. She saw you as the best choice. And over time, you've proven that to be wrong by how you've been showing up. And she has been losing hope that her needs will ever get met in this relationship. And now she wants to leave or is considering leaving at the very least. And the next one, which is very similar, but different, she's also lost hope in your ability to change into the person who will get her needs met. And this is usually because over the years and years and years of being together, you said you would change and you did, or you started to change and you went back. And she's just been burned over and over and over. And she's just lost hope that you are capable of changing. And then the third thing is she doesn't want to get hurt again. And you can see how all these are tying into each other, but they are different, right? She's been tired of getting hurt over and over. She doesn't want to feel pain. This wall is literally there to protect her from experiencing any more pain. Because if she shuts down and doesn't open her heart, because women feel more than men do and more intensely than men do, she doesn't have to feel any more pain, right? And even though disconnection is even harder for her than it is for you, she's just been experiencing it for much longer. She needs to protect herself from opening up to keep getting that pain of trying to connect with you and it not going anywhere, asking for her needs to get met. Usually messily, usually not directly. That's another story. But asking it not happening. So this wall is up to protect those things. All right. So the reason why you feel so much disconnection, the reason why she's acting this way, like this coldness, and why she's avoiding every interaction with you is because each of those interactions is a reminder of one of two things. The first is an interaction that reinforces her belief that you won't change, that interacting with you is just going to cause more pain. And the guys who tend to be more aggressive, usually have outbursts, anger, or well, even abuse stuff, but really more of the more aggressive energy, more of the reaction, more of the explosion, all that kind of stuff. You get that. But really any reaction creates this feeling for her, right? Because even the repressed, shut down, dismissive, stonewalling creates the same effect. It's still painful to experience. So each interaction with her is a reminder of that. Or if you've been working on yourself and changing and all that, each interaction is like a trap, feels like a trap. Whereas, oh, he's just doing this to try to lure me back in. And if I fall victim to it, I'm going to get hurt again. And a lot of this is on the unconscious level. Sometimes they can consciously share it with you, but most of it's on the unconscious level. And she sees it as a trap. So a lot of times you might see like, oh, she opens up and you guys have a really good day. And then the next day, like she doubles down. It's like, stay away. I went out, like, blah, blah, blah. It's because she realized she almost got sucked back in. And she's like, no, I've been down this road. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to allow myself to get hurt again. So it's their trap. So that's why even as you're making progress and you're feeling this change happen, you get these moments. And it's because you haven't been consistent in the past. Like you've done this before, but you weren't consistent. And she remembers those times. Women just store memories better than men. And because of that, she doesn't want to fall victim into that again. So that's why you have to be consistent over a long enough period of time to really go through that. And that's why you can still get roller coasters, even though it's more like that. And that's because over that consistency, more trust gets built and whatnot. So the only real way through this is to break up this pattern. The real way to bring down the wall and bring back connection is to break this pattern. And you do this through really transforming into a man that she's never experienced before, to give her something completely different than what she's used to. And that starts breaking up this pattern. It breaks up the story that it's just going to be more of the same to, oh, I've never experienced this before. I don't know how to react. I don't know what to do with this, right? That's more of what you want to create. And you do this through 4 real ways, right? Or 4 steps. You want to take back leadership in the relationship. You want to stop having her carry the weight of the relationship, right? You want that's financial leadership, that's making decisions, that's having a vision for the family and working towards it, that's helping out and making sure shelter, food provided for, all those types of things. That's on the intimacy side. Like leadership is all encompassing and there's a lot to go with it. But basically, leadership. For guys who are in more of a depolarizing situation where they show up more in their feminine and their woman shows up more in the masculine, you got to flip that. So there's a lot to this. I can't cover all in this video, but basically leadership. Next is you got to create emotional safety, right? You have to make it safe for her to open up and share her needs with you. And usually this is going to take the form of complaints, right? Especially in times of crisis, it's going to take the form of complaints and blame and just some straight up venom coming at you. But within each of those are going to be needs that she's actually trying to get you to understand she needs met. Very softly, very messily, topic for another day. But that's what's happening there. And if you can create the emotional safety for her to express that, listen, hear the needs that being shared, and then go and focus on meeting those needs for her, you start shifting the dynamic. So now you have the leadership with comes with trust, the safety and communication. And now you can really start working on connection and the intimacy, which is really building that back up. And that's really just making connection the top priority, more important than being right, more important than really anything else going on at this stage. Like it'll rebalance later, but building that connection has to become top priority, right? That's doing novelty and new things together. It's learning together and sharing the things that you're learning. Like it's all these sorts of things, being curious about each other, exploring, right? Those are things that starts fostering more and more connection. And you have to go in this order, mind you. Like this isn't a la carte, just pick the one that sounds best. Like you need to go in this order. It's laid out in a certain way. That's how our program is actually designed to walk you through in a very specific way for a very specific reason. And then lastly, you just have to be consistent. And you just have to commit to showing up like this basically for the rest of the relationship, which I think if most men knew what they were signing up for when they said I do, and a lifetime of working on the relationship, they probably would have second guessed or at least have went from a different mindset. And that's just the reality of the situation. Like you have to be consistent for the rest of your time together. You have to commit to showing up, to being this man, not just to say relationship, but for life. Right. And I know this wall seems imperishable at times. It seems like no matter what you do, it's never enough. It's never going to come down, but it will. It will when it comes down. There's usually a flood behind it, like a very large flood. And that's also part of the journey. Talk about another time. But it happens. I see them come down all the time with my clients. It can happen for you as long as you commit to showing up and being that man. All right. I'm going to drop some resources below for you. And I wish you the best of luck on your journey. Take care.